entered the building.
Place to be nation. Welcome back to PTB NXT, episode 29. Very significant number. I'm Jumble-eyed Jake here with you. Got my two compadres with me. Jennifer Smith, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jake?
I'm all right. It's May. What an insignificant month May is.
I kind of hate it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shots fired. What's wrong with May?
Know, just nothing wrong with it, but it's also it's mid, okay?
It's mid-May.
I've always kind of liked May. I guess I just associate it with like into the school year and the weather is starting to get nice, but not so super hot that it's oppressive. Although we don't really have spring anymore, but there was once upon a time when it was sort of a
hypothetical
nice
spring. Yeah.
Hypothetically, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go after May like that. Maybe May's all right. I was trying to think of something to say. Who knows?
I think like February and March are like trash. Those are like the
February and March.
February is trash.
Yeah, that is awful.
It's hard to say and spell, like unnecessary, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it wouldn't be
we're going to
for
rank
summer,
the month, right?
like,
we're going to rank the month on this episode. PTBNXT.
Drafting.
Yeah, draft the month,
draft
please.
the month. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have to cover two episodes that have to. We have to cover 2 months of NXT because we have 2 episodes and then a takeover. I feel like it's been quite a while since we've had a takeover, but we're almost there. So we have to, do what the podcast is supposed to be, I guess.
Do we though?
Which mixed results depending on the month we're covering. But
in our defense, well, not really our defense, I should say, but normally we do 3 episodes of NXT television per show. We've sort of stretched this one out because it didn't line up that way heading into this next takeover. So we had the option of either doing 4 episodes of NXT television, which
we couldn't fathom, really.
Would have been good for us. No. And probably not good for the listener either. Or we could have done like 3 and then an extra TV the week of, and then the take. It just felt too janky, so we did 2 and 2.
Right, because technically we have 3, but always the one right before the takeover is literally just stuff.
Yeah, we skipped that one.
About. It's like for the people who are like just want to watch the takeover and don't watch the stuff, all this, and they need to know what's happening.
Right.
So, but I have a great Cajun word. Very proud of this one.
Yes.
When I thought of it a while back, I had to message you guys because I was like, don't let me forget this one because it's a good one. All right. Your Cajun word is envie.
Envie.
Envie. So ENVIE is the way I've always spelled it. There's actually a restaurant near where I went to college called Envie. It was a seafood restaurant. Shocker. But envie is like when you have like a desire or craving for something. It's used a lot for like food, like
well,
like maybe I got the
envie right now.
You'd say like I got the envie for X, like I got the envie for some for a po' boy, I mean, right? So,
envie, I like that.
The envie, I got the envie, but it could also be, I mean, food's usually how you use it, but it could be like for anything, like
boning.
Right, I got the envie to do the putain.
I got the envie for the fish assholes, me.
On the troll boat.
On the shrimp
boat. You only got one hand to eat. You only got one hand. You gotta.
I feel like there's a little Cajun child named Envie.
It's very. It definitely sounds like someone I like. Near I grew up, like maybe not the first name, but a middle name. I could totally see someone being like Paxton Envie.
Paxton.
Braxton Envie.
Oh my god.
So next time you have the a craving for something, say, "Oh, I got the envie for some
So
fish
envie.
assholes." I got the envie. Or like like somebody will say, like, "What are y'all doing?" "Oh, we're going to eat I'm at Taco Bell. I had the envie, you know."
Hey, waiting for these shots to kick in. I'm so on V me.
But our other tradition, we have our gimmick name. So let's do those. I got the envie to hear what our old ones are because I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, so Jake, actually, is this Jake?
Possible question.
I got my columns mixed up. Excuse me. So, Jake, you are currently working the working the indies as Poppy Stoney. Poppy, we made a point of spelling PAPI.
Poppy.
I am. See if I can even say it. Blower Abdul Jabbar.
Yes.
Of the Abdul Jabbar family, I guess. And Jenny is William. I have in print, or I have in quotes, Billy Waters.
Billy Waters, I remember.
Billy Waters. Well, those
I think we gave her a sporting gimmick, from what I recall.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Or maybe I made that up.
No, yeah, it sounds like us.
I like that I don't remember them now because then I get to pop again when I after forgetting them last
like hearing them for the first time.
Right. All right. Well, anyway, you know how this goes. We had a new one. So I will now be known as Ashford Blowcomb.
Whoa.
Blowcomb.
Blowcomb.
Ashford.
Ashford.
What a name. Okay.
It sounds like a town in Georgia or something. Ashford.
It's a town in Alabama. I was just there.
There you go. Blowcomb. That sounds like a 90s insult. Like a fart knocker. Blowcomb.
Yeah.
Fucking blowcomb. Guy's a fucking blowcomb.
Butt nasty blowcomb.
Sorry, I just opened this envelope and got the next one.
That was a good one.
For
God,
Tim. So Tim, we believe we're going to tap into your obvious Irish heritage here.
Yeah,
we're going to be. I think you're going to have like a Becky Lynch early days of NXT where she's doing the jig because you're going to be stacks so plenty.
What the fuck?
He's a leprechaun, is what he is.
Right. But like a rapping leprechaun, because you have like fat stacks of money and you come out and like make it rain on everyone.
I think it's also kind of
gold
a fat
coins.
guy.
Make it rain
It's a total fat guy gimmick too. Stacks of plenty. Come on, like you're kind of it's like a fat guy leprechaun. So it's the old under 5 and over 3, as they say. So I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do something to somehow try to visually reduce my height. I think.
I don't know. I think this could get over. Just stacks of plenty.
I think so too. It's not bad.
Well, sure. I'm just picturing like Fat Bastard as a leprechaun.
That'll work, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to find some of these. Okay. Okay. Ginny, you're going to be you're going to be Harpo Slow Kneeler.
Come on.
You kneel very slowly. And,
I like Harpo.
Yeah.
Harpo.
It's like a Marx Brothers.
Slow Kneeler. Come on now.
Slow Kneeler.
Slow kneel. Take it easy.
Well, think of how you would even like. How do you chant if you're trying to get behind?
Kneel.
Slow kneel. Yeah. Let's go slow kneel.
She's a slow kneeler. You gotta hold on. Lead me.
Oh,
These
God.
do kind of lend themselves to pretty good crowd chants. Stacks of
Right.
plenty.
See, that's how we're going to finally get over.
Oh, Harpo slow kneeler. Oh, Harpo slow kneeler.
I finish as like some sort of knee-based
right
thing. I don't slowly kneel. I don't
know. Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing.
Harpo face sitter, more like it.
Whoa. It's a family program, NXT.
Maybe it's more like you force your opponent to kneel slowly, and then you do like a running shoddy to the face kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Shining Wizard or some shit.
The
the slowing kneeler.
The shining poontang to the face. Wipe them out.
I got non-V for that move.
Who doesn't?
Let's go right into the pin with it. Let's go right into the pin.
All right. Well, we got to do what we got to do, guys. You know what they say. Even when you get saddled with whatever gimmick, you gotta, try your best.
Gotta make it work.
Yeah, you got to make it work. All right, and we also have to make it work with these 2 episodes because it's been a little rocky. We rebounded a little bit last time from the terrible suck shit around Mania. So we'll see if we can finish strong into this takeover. So we will start with the May 6, 2015 episode of NXT. And we will start off with Jenny's woman, Charlotte. And she's going to be facing off against Emma, who has been steady trolling poor Bailey here. And she has her headband as she comes out for the entrance. I like that we've chronicled like Emma being over her own gimmick, which is fun. And right here she starts to do like the stabs and just kind of waves it off like, oh, fuck that stupid shit, which was a nice touch. She's got Bailey's headband. She mocks the crowd with that. So I like her energy coming out. But we get like a headlock struggle to start. They move to a spot in the corner that I wasn't sure looked possibly botched. Like it's kind of like she just dropped Charlotte on her head there. Did not seem like what they were going for. This whole match, I found Emma was a little bit off. Like she does a lot of leg work. It was sloppy, and most of it I was still pretty into, but she was not the smoothest here. She kicked Charlotte's face into the mat though with a sick thud. So Charlotte's taking quite an ass kicking. Not really an ass kicking, but she's taking some sick bumps to the head in this one. Emma locks in a half crab after working the leg for a minute. But then Charlotte makes her comeback. Charlotte goes for a spear, which Emma, again, does not take very well. She kind of falls awkwardly on it. So, again, Emma just a little off for me. But Charlotte hits the natural selection. Charlotte takes the win. Pretty standard stuff here. Very face from Charlotte here. Maybe the most face I feel like we've seen her. Like the match structure was very like her kind of getting worked over, then making her comeback in the end. I liked Emma's whole energy, the heel energy, but I thought she was a little bit off in the ring. But I thought Charlotte bumped pretty well. So I still went 2 1/4 on it, even if Emma didn't look at the top of her game. Jenny?
Yeah, I had a lot of the same feelings. Number one, I was like, Emma, we're doing this for Charlotte. And I get it, I guess, because she's, like you said, being very face and kind of taking up for Bailey in this situation here a lot. But it's just like entirely too much awkward offense from Emma. But it's good for Charlotte because she looks good when she's bumping around. Like she's good at selling. So this is a good way for Emma to get some of this heel stuff in on somebody who can take it, can take the quote unquote beating, although it's not technically a beating at all. Just Emma I don't know. It's like that apathy that she has in the character is really coming across as super sloppy in the ring too. Because we've seen her like be a little bit more compelling than this. And it's like everything is working except for what she's doing in the ring for me. But Charlotte looks good and helping her out there. So I did a 2 stars on it, but I was still kind of like, number one, I just don't like Charlotte being a face. So it's fine. It's fine. I see what they're going to do eventually with them, and it's just a way to get her on the card at TakeOver. So I'm fine with it. And also, they have no chemistry, Tim.
That's a good point. They really don't have any chemistry for two competitors who are reasonably decent wrestlers. I mean, in the case of Charlotte, very good. And we've seen Emma be impressive kind of in the early goings of the NXT women's division, and they just really didn't click here. Surprising to see Emma take as much of this match on offense as she does, especially against a Charlotte. So you would hope she would look a little bit better and, as Greg Phillips might say, wrestle with more purpose here. But we don't see a lot of that. And she does get some good limb work in. She's kind of, you can tell, like the story, such as it is she's trying to isolate Charlotte's legs and lower back to some extent to kind of bring her down to size, because Charlotte is just so dominant in comparison to Emma. But it sort of doesn't go anywhere, and Charlotte gets that very perfunctory win with natural selection, and even that kind of didn't look great, which,
right,
normally it's kind of hard to fuck up that move. But yeah, not a whole lot to see here, but I also gave it the, I guess, gentleman's 2 stars. I think some of that was also for the post match. I liked some of the post match bits we're going to get into. By the way, so Emma is wearing Bayley's "I Am a Hugger" T-shirt.
Yeah.
That shirt. Well, first of all, that shirt should probably never be worn anyway. But if you are going to wear it, please do not wear any kind of jacket over it that could partially obscure the H and part of the U, because as soon as Emma walked out, I went, "What does her shirt say?" And then I went, oh, it's the Bayley thing. Yeah, it was, and she's not even wearing anything over it, right? And it's just how, it kind of caught the eye, and I was like, that shirt should never be worn.
It's a problematic shirt, and and she wrestles the whole match, and I'm like, why didn't she take her fucking shirt off? It really bugs me.
Dumb. It's like my mom has a shirt that says "Lucky" across it, and sort of that large lettering as well, and she usually wears some kind of like a vest or something over top of it. I said, "Mom, you realize when you go out in public with that shirt, it looks like it just says 'fuck' on it." She's like, "I don't care."
She's like, "I wish it did say 'fuck' on it."
all you see are the U, the V, and the K. It just looks like it.
She's like, "Let me go get my Bailey shirt. I'll change."
Yeah, let me go get my "I'm a Hugger" shirt.
Is this better, Tim?
I'm a
like,
fucker.
Mom.
It doesn't even say I am lucky. It just says lucky. It just looks like it says "fuck" on it for no reason. She wears it all the time.
The clover on it.
And I swear you cannot see the L or the Y. I'm like, well, what can I say? But
so
no,
Bailey
that
comes.
Bailey shirt is real. Who thought of that? I mean, why don't they think of these things? Just,
I don't know.
Come on. I know they're wrestling shirts, but let's just try.
Probably
a
Bailey.
Bit.
She sucks.
That was so unnecessary.
I know.
But I'm here for it.
Savage. But she's coming back to get her headband from
and her
Emma.
shirt. Yeah.
Their shirt, right?
No, you can't.
But they actually they embrace in a hug, so not what you'd expect, but it's
Mhm.
actually Bailey sneaking and getting her headband back and then hitting her with the Bailey to belly. So maybe a
Mhm.
little bit more of an aggressive Bailey here, but Charlotte restrains her. So they're definitely going for it. Like Jenny alluded to, that like I don't know, they built this a little bit, but they definitely have
Mhm.
kicked it up where now Charlotte's like a pure face and like restrain like even
Yeah.
tweener Charlotte is not going to like restrain somebody from beating up someone else, especially if they're fucking with you. But now she's like, don't do that. But it's like she's trying to hold her back from the dark side or whatever. And that's kind of what they're going for. Like,
Mhm.
no, this isn't you, Bailey. So they're kind of pushing that maybe this is a new Bailey that's willing to like stand up for herself and be aggressive, etc., etc. And that's kind of what we end on. And we'll see later. I'll just mention it now since we're talking about it. But this is going to lead us to a tag match that's going to happen
Yeah.
at Takeover where Bailey and Charlotte are going to be in a team against Emma and I believe
Dana
Alexa
Brooke.
Blood. Oh, Dana Brooke. I'm sorry, I forgot. We'll get there.
Yeah, we will.
Winner gets to keep the racial epithet.
Correct. So, I know. Any thoughts on this? How'd you feel, Jenny? I know you say you're not the hugest fan of face Charlotte. So, how'd you feel about her, like, trying to mentor young Bailey and keep her from being too mean?
I mean, because Bailey's been very annoying in her little girl persona, for the most part. So I'm like, stop, Charlotte. Let her be bad if she wants to be bad. And how about you start beating up people and be bad too? So, I'm not fond of it, but I'm trying to have some new appreciation for her babyface runs, but we will to be determined on that.
Gotcha. Any thoughts,
I liked I guess I liked the Bailey showing more of that aggressive side, kind of suckering Emma in and then hitting the Bailey to belly. But Charlotte trying to restrain her after the fact is just very silly. I mean, what does Charlotte care whether
Mhm.
Bailey
Right.
loses her cool and beats this chick up? So what? Um, I mean, I was kind of hoping Charlotte would come back in and just boot them both in the face and leave.
Yeah,
But
we could get there hopefully soon.
hopefully. So yeah, I mean, I kind of liked that we have some shenanigans post match, but I'm not fond of the Charlotte face character either.
Right. I think she works much better as a tweener if you're going to go face. And
Mm.
yeah, I would do more of just like have her kind of prove a Bailey sticking up for herself. I don't think we needed to like
Yeah,
no
have her
Bailey. Like it's like the first
stand on
time
the
Bailey's
outside
done anything
smirking or
like
something.
this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
don't turn into a monster Bailey because you stood up for
This
yourself
is
one
not you.
time.
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Who
like
cares?
let's tone it down. All right. We head to a video package for another one of our women here, and that's going to be Becky. We've seen some before. They're really trying to get over that she's eclectic. We have her talking about again how she's traveled the world and started when she was like 15, etc. We've heard all this before. She talks about how some of her heroes are Dynamite Kid, The Rock, Steve Austin, Nate, couple of other names. And they just openly mock her original gimmick, which popped me pretty good. Like
Mhm.
she was like, "I came out and did this dumb shit, and that that just wasn't me." It's like, yeah,
Like, bitch, that was
so good on
6
them.
months ago. Like that.
Mm.
That's what was
And they
killing
did
me
that.
about this video. They're acting like she's like a 10-year veteran. Like, it's still just NXT, babe. Like,
Right. Tim, they did the Domino's our pizza used to suck angle here with her just
They
openly
sure
mocking
did.
her.
They did
her
the
own
self burial from something that, to Jenny's point, that is a little bit obnoxious. Like they could have. I like that they emphasize like kind of her worldliness and how
Mhm.
she,
mm,
she does have this experience that was not emphasized at all when she first came in. But it's like why even go there, right? Like you don't even.
Yeah.
It's just so at odds with the story that
Yeah.
they're trying to get across with her that it just makes them look stupid for doing it in the first place. It just makes
let's
them
just
look
pretend
so
it didn't
dumb.
happen. Like it was like a week.
Honestly,
who cares?
just
Like
yeah.
And I agree. I like what they're doing here because it's kind of the whole tone they're starting to move towards. They're moving away from like, I guess, like the wackier characters and trying to establish people as more like athletes. Seems to be the tone they're moving towards with these people. Like, bringing in Finn, and whether we like it or not, that's kind of the approach they're taking with Itami. As opposed, they moved more away from like the Adam Rose type characters. So
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Or I mean, I guess if they're gonna acknowledge it, they could have just framed it differently and been like, when I first came to NXT, I looked pretty ridiculous, and they showed the Riverdance leprechaun thing, and then she's like, in reality, I've actually got a lot of experience, yada yada, and just sort of presented that as a contrast to what we thought she was in the first place, and then just I don't know. To not, have it all of a sudden intrude on what is already a pretty serious attempt to package her as this like world-class wrestler just feels like record scratch. And then I got to NXT. Fucking moron. I mean, it's
True.
like, why would you do it that way?
Yeah, it was awkward. All right, so we know this next segment
They're
is
usually
important,
pretty good
guys.
at these, I guess is my point. They're usually pretty good at those promo packages, and for the most part, this was, except for that bit and the way it was presented. So, anyway.
Okay. But I was saying this next package seems important because they got Michael Cole out here, guys, and he's from the main roster, so this is a big deal.
Oh, wow.
And he's having a sit down with KO, and he's being very like aggressive, like I'm going to get to the root of this journalist guy, because he's like, I have to ask you, Kev, why did you do it? And so Kevin Owens does the same spiel. Everything's personal because they want the title, which to me, that means you're trying to ruin my family if you take my title. So Cole keeps probing. He says, no, he's like, there's no way that could be your only motive. KO reasserts that, like, no, that's it. This is why I do this, for my family. So Michael Cole asks him if it wasn't Sami, would he have acted the same? So he says, this isn't about Sami. He started to kind of lose his cool. And then he says, you haven't even congratulated him yet, Michael, which is it's great. Michael Cole's still hammering the issue, though. He says he wants him to answer. How could you do that to Sami? So again, very investigative journalist here. He's not going to take the spin from KO. KO accuses him of trying to get a headline on WWE.com. Pop me. KO says, I don't do that. I'm not going to give you a headline. He's like, but you know what? If you want your headline, you could put KO as a good father and husband. And then he asks him if he has any last words, and he says, follow me on Twitter, which destroyed me. And then he compliments Michael Cole. He's like, you're doing a good job, Michael Cole. And then that ends the interview. Just vintage, awesome, insane Michael Cole, insane Kevin Owens during this. Follow me on Twitter. I enjoyed this quite a bit.
I enjoyed Kevin quite a bit here, kind of doing his usual dismissive thing. I thought this segment was kind of a miss, though, because first of all, who the fuck is Michael Cole? I mean, yes, we obviously know who Mike, but really, like, they're presenting him as some kind of hard-hitting, like you said, Jake, investigative journalist. He's going to get to the bottom line. You're like a Mike Tenay in WCW kind of hard-hitting.
Yes.
That's not what he has ever been. And I'm sorry, even diehard WWE fans have zero respect for Michael Cole. He doesn't have that kind of gravitas to him. And to have him come down to the little league here to it just feels like they're trying to give this more of a big time feel or legitimize, their training program. And it's just, we don't need that. It just feels so condescending. And by the way, there are fingerprints all over the NXT championship
that is bugging the shit out of me.
Wipe that thing down. It just looks so it just adds to just the whole Bush League nature of this entire
Mhm.
segment. It's like it looks bad. It's presented in a way that's, again, this is all just optics here, right? Just like the Becky Lynch package. So we've got one kind of crappy hype piece after another, and I'm like, no, miss me with this crap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm glad that I was the only one feeling that way. Like, I, I don't like. I think it's like KO is good at what he's doing here. It's not what he's saying. I don't know.
We've all heard all this
Yeah,
already,
it's
right? I
just it's
mean,
like we're just
that's been
rehashing. It's been 2 months of this, and he's already used the "you haven't even congratulated me on this."
yep.
He's already used that on somebody, and then like he's all this stonewalling. Like, why are we trying to force a story out of the man? Like, I don't know. It just I, it's like it's good, but I find him very annoying. Like,
They act like because Michael Cole is such a big shot, he's going to get something out of Kevin here that the the dumbasses in NXT couldn't, because
Mhm.
they're just the peons of
mhm.
this entire promotion. Like, and of course this doesn't go anywhere. He just says the same shit he always. Which, don't get me wrong, like I said, it's entertaining, but we're just talking in circles, and
Yes,
we've
that's exactly
we've been doing this for the past what 8 weeks.
at
Like,
least.
we get it.
Um, and all of it just sounds so insincere. It's all
Yeah.
none of.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's like I don't believe that the NXT title means jack shit to KO. I don't
No.
believe
Or
any
to
of
Michael
that.
Cole.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
the only person I believe it means anything to is Sami Zayn, and so I guess it's working. But I don't know. I have like super mixed feelings about this whole story.
I think it worked for me because I think I liked that they did do like Michael Cole's a big shot, and that KO still did his same like no, I'm just gonna give you the same bullshit like everybody else. And if anything, he was like more dismissive because it was Michael Cole. Like he even was more fucking with him, like with the you want to
Yeah.
Yeah,
headline
Well,
your
yeah, this could have been
KO's.
so much worse. He could have like
yeah,
Mhm.
kowtowed to him or whatever. But yeah, I guess I just don't think there was any way to
Mhm.
even make this one work. They just shouldn't have done it. Like,
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, they maybe would need somebody like that's their own NXT version of this. And I guess they don't
mhm,
really have anybody in that because
yeah,
all the interviewers are just like,
they're so
is like
bad.
Devin or whatever who just smiles at them no matter what they
Mhm,
say. So
mhm.
it doesn't really work. But yeah, it pushed along his same narrative. But we'll see Sammy's response in a moment. But this I'm sure will excite you guys. We're gonna get a Bull Dempsey versus Rhino
Oh
match.
boy.
So
Wow.
a Bull who's had quite a fall ever since he lost to Baron Corbin handily. They go in, they exchange a few ham hock strikes. Rhino gets a belly to belly and then hits a gore. And then that's it. It was longer than the regular Rhino squash, meaning it was like 45 seconds instead of 15 seconds. But
Mhm.
so Tim, I said that this was almost real, but not real. So I didn't rate it. It was almost
Yeah,
real, but
almost a real match, doesn't quite get there. Yeah.
right.
I, you can put it down for a whatever, I guess.
Yep.
All right, put in the spreadsheet, whatever.
Mhm.
Normally I would give it like a half a star, but I'm just like, I don't care enough.
Right.
I mean, well, it's sort of like, does this exist for any reason? It's sort of, that's why you even rate a squash in the first place, because it does serve a purpose, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I'm not sure what
Mhm.
purpose I mean, we'll sort of get some follow up, I guess, next week. And I guess the purpose is, hey, Rhino, he's still around.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't think we needed to do this to establish that.
Yeah, I didn't rate it either. And my comment here was like, this feels like Twilight Zone of like,
hmm
Mhm.
of just this meaningless squash match that is given to this one guy, and then he'll go on and do like 14 of these and then leave. Like, I don't
And
know.
he's not like a guy you're trying to establish. He's been around for like fucking 20
Right.
years or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, we know who Rhino is. We know he does.
Right.
It's not like we don't have to get his
Yeah.
finish over. Like,
No.
we know Rhino.
I don't.
Right.
I just
There's
feel
a
like I'm
time this
missing it.
was-
Like, there's a reason
Yeah.
for this, and I don't get it. Like, I feel like I don't get it. And I'm like, I've been
Right.
watching NXT for goddamn how many episodes we've been doing? Like, I should not be confused on this, right?
No, you're right, but I have just found the answer to that question is what I always go back to is it exists because it has to.
Because they need content for TV.
Because content is necessary. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's not even like they don't talk. It's not a backdrop for them to talk about anything on commentary, really.
No.
It's just, and then at the end, he challenges Baron Corbin in a very basic, like, I think his justification is like, I heard you were unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. So at unstoppable, we're going to see who's really unstoppable. Whatever Jimmy said.
Oh my God. That was awful.
Yeah. So, yeah. Not a whole bunch else to say about this. All right. Sasha says that she is puts herself over, saying Becky's not going to beat her. She's better than Moolah in just like a pretty standard Sasha promo, putting herself over, saying she's the boss, etc., just to get her a little bit of screen time. Not much more than that, Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, she looks good. She sounds okay. A little bit like she's trying to remember the words and keep it in the right cadence. But you know, it's fine. It's fine for what she did. And the title looks like she's tiny. Like, do they have like a tiny Sasha sized belt for her? Because I'm like, why does the belt look so small?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a toy version. Like,
Yeah, it really does
for a
look like a
doll.
tiny belt.
God, I hope they did that. That'd be such like a WWE thing to
The
do.
Sasha version of the championship.
Right.
Yeah. No, I have nothing to add here. Sorry.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll roll on then. We see William Regal meeting with a new talent. I don't know if they said his name here, but it's Apollo Crews. I can't really remember if
they do not, because I did not recognize Apollo Crews. I don't know why.
I recognized him, but I was like, did they say?
They did not. They did not.
Okay, I didn't think
why would they make a video promo package doing all this and not put the fucker's name on it?
I wonder if they knew what they were. The name generator hadn't like settled on anything yet.
Oh, well, that does make sense.
It was stuck that week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're like, coming next week, this guy. Like, they give you nothing. Right. Like, there's no name at all.
I was worried about him too for his, for his own well-being, not his well-being, but he didn't bring a lawyer or anything for this contract. He's Regal in the office, like, I want to read over this, man, before you, especially like signing with this corporation, they might be screwing you over there. But the video, the thing that got me the most of the video is they show like this slow-mo shot of him driving up in his Altima, which is amazing. Like he's in a Bentley or something. It's like an Altima. Like you talking about he's a go ahead.
He has a black ice car freshener thingy hanging from his
right. He's talking about I want to create my legacy. He's got this sick physique and stuff, and he just rolls up it. Like why? Why wouldn't they just like it didn't have to be as real?
Look,
like did they make a shoot car?
Developmental.
It can't be too nice of a car. Then you'll be like, why is this millionaire driving up to NXT?
Exactly.
Right. Instead of a modest Altima.
An Altima.
Got him in an 02 Honda Civic.
And I don't know why I did not recognize him. I don't know. He looks way different to me.
After the monumental career he's had, Jenny, how could you
I don't know.
Just forget Apollo Crews like this? But yeah, not the most groundbreaking stuff. Pretty standard. I mean, he doesn't really establish much of a character. It's very generic, like I want to create a legacy, etc. Anything, Tim, on this?
Don't they show basically this same exact vignette in the following week? Because
and still don't say his name.
And, right, we had two opportunities to establish who this guy is, and we don't do it.
Just-
I don't
Man, a
understand.
mystery. Regal's like, come in and sign your name, guy,
Sign your name. Sign right here,
fellow.
so I'll know who you are. Please
Wow.
write legibly now.
Oh, he signed. Regal still doesn't even know who he is.
No, sign it and then print your name below it, so I'll know it.
He's like, so the Ultima's paid in full, right? When I sign this. It's a signing bonus.
It's the NXT company vehicle.
Oh God!
They have to
Right.
share it.
All right, we continue on. We have what we think is going to be a match between Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. No longer the mechanics. They're just Scott and Dash. And they're going to be facing Enzo and Cass. But they don't show up at first. So we see that Wes and Bud are assaulting them in the back as Mella protests. Rich, ever not quite the Michael Cole of drones here, because they're clearly like beating him up on camera. He's like, what just happened? Like, pretty sure they just beat him up, man. Like, they just
What do you
showed
mean?
it.
What happened?
It's
They
pretty
kind of
obvious,
explicitly
dumbass.
show it. Yeah,
They beat
Man,
them
you should
both.
get
They're
all
all
that
cool.
on
He's like,
Twitter.
what just happened? It's like, we know who did it. Like, we know what happened. Carmel's like narrating, like, no, don't beat him up. So we never end up having the match. So
well,
robbed, guys.
Yep. Could have been a banger. You never know. With these dad bods
yeah,
in
with
the ring.
with
Future FTR
Dash and-
bald and FTR
Yeah.
hair.
Mhm.
But yeah, just I guess to get a little more heel heat on Wes and Bud if that wasn't established, and I guess to make us, I mean, no, that Carmel's not gonna bail on him. So anyway, all right, now we go to the Michael Cole sit down with Sami to get his side of this. I found they were jumping around a lot on this episode. Like, I feel like
They
this
are.
has more
This is-
segments than the average
Yeah.
NXT. By this point, I was like, damn, this is like I feel like we're on our 18th segment. But Sami says it's personal because of the title. It is interesting that he's more diplomatic about it, but he kind of has the same thesis as KO. Like, he's sort of in the same denial that KO's in, that it's not personal, that it's just about the title, when obviously it's personal for both of them. He admits that it does bother him that KO attacked him, and next week he wants to come to the ring, and he needs KO to explain why he did this. They're so hooked on this idea. Like, it's like he did it because he's an asshole. I don't know. Like, he's just a dick.
Right.
Like, and so he tries to appeal to Kevin Owens and like troll him by saying, be a role model to your kid. You're always talking about your kid. So I guess we could lump this in here too. They show, and I think they might have shown this. I think they show on the next episode, but that apparently Sami had faced Cena on Raw in the classic Indy Cena era where he was doing the U.S. title stuff. So I guess Sami was his opponent of the week, and they kind of pushed that he might have had a left shoulder injury. So they're trying to throw that in as a possible another caveat to this whole deal. So
yeah, which we'll get more into that. Because that really sucks. Not the match, but what ended up happening. But this was a bit better than the KO version that we saw earlier, just because Michael Cole is not being quite so antagonistic.
right,
he's a little bit more neutral here, which he just should have been in the first place if they were going to do it. But I think we've talked about how Sami is pretty good about this sort of thing, playing the babyface character without coming across like he's whining or making excuses or whinging too much about how he loses all the time, which you pretty much have to do when your character is the consummate underdog, right? So I think it's a pretty good typical Sami face presentation with some good heat on it for the rematch. And I kind of like the idea that maybe to some degree he is in denial over how personal this really is for him. And we see that intensity at the end where it's like, obviously this is about a lot more than just the NXT championship. And now we're seeing highlights. I'm playing it back right now. and they're showing highlights from the Cena match. So that had, I guess, happened, probably aired the same week, right? So that had probably been, Monday, and then NXT was either that Wednesday or Thursday. So it's a shame, that we've got sort of the specter of an injury now looming over the big rematch.
You would think that Cole would ask about the fucking injury.
Well, it hadn't happened yet. It hadn't happened yet. At the time of the interview. Yeah, I don't, because that was the thing. It said previously recorded or something. I think that was
okay. That makes sense.
I think that was kind of their way of acknowledging this interview took place before even, the match with Cena. I think. I mean, I could be wrong about that.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, yeah, okay. But all Cole does is just like, it's got to be eating you up inside. Like he just keeps like rubbing it in, and trying to get something out. And like, I don't know, like whatever the reveal is, it better be fucking good, is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they're doing all this and then there's not going to be anything. And it'll be like, I'm just an asshole. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, they really are acting like there's some kind of payoff here that has been yet to be revealed to us. And I mean, spoiler, there really isn't. It's they just keep hammering on this point that, again, we've already been over this. And I think the question has been answered to everyone's satisfaction. So it just feels like they're filling the space, right? They don't know what else to say, so they're just falling back on.
But it seems
these
like
old talking points.
They have half the story. Like, why are you not able to come up with something at this point? Like, it's a good base. It's a good base for the story. Why are we sitting in it and all this time? Like, you have something here. Clearly, people have responded to this feud in a big way. And it's really the only thing that's going over the best probably on NXT at this point, and putting more eyes on NXT. But all you're doing is sitting there saying the same shit every week. Do something with this. Where are your writers?
Yeah, I feel like you need more from Sami. Like, if you're gonna do like KO stonewalling, he's not gonna give me anything.
Then
you
it'll
need
be on
Sami to like fill in and like really fill in the details and like tell us about, how good of friends they were or something. And then it makes you more sympathetic towards him because he's kind of laying it all out there while KO is being an asshole. Like, and just kind of I don't know, but you need somebody to fill in the details because like KO's vague because he's intentionally trolling them. But then Sami is like, no, but you have to say it, KO. I need to know why. It's like he's not going to tell you because he's doing it on purpose. So you're just kind of left with both of them speaking more in plaid. Like KO stonewalling and Sami is kind of like, well, it's on you, KO, and he's never going to give anything. So
that's just how you kill a feud, probably.
Right.
I mean,
it's like roadblocks
it a bit. Advance anything.
Right. Right. It's been okay, but it could be so much better.
It could be, yes.
Right. All right. Okay, so we go for our other big title match. We're gonna have a contract signing between Becky and Sasha in the ring. Becky again talks pretty much in the same stuff she talked about in her video package, how she got here, etc. She's traveled a long road. Sasha rolls her eyes at that, and she came to take over. And so Sasha throws it in her face and punches her. They get on top of the table, which I do not trust at all. I was waiting for this table to just collapse. It looked very shitty. But instead of putting her through it, she just stands over it and they get off. And of course she flips the table, but Becky comes back and gets an arm bar until Sasha, they're broken up by officials. So it was kind of whatever on this. I like both of them. It's an okay feud, but this just was like 100% like textbook, contract signing. Nothing really to, I don't know. They didn't really do much different in this. It was, it was like Tim said, it was there because it's like they're having a title match. So let's pencil in a contract signing. Was what it was.
Yeah.
So
it's how do we build to this match? How do we add something to this feud? What's something we haven't done in a little while? Oh yeah, let's do a contract signing. It's like that's what they pulled out of the hat, I guess. And it is very by the numbers as those types of segments go. It also feels like a little late in the day to be doing this. We've got
Yep.
2 shows before the takeover. Like maybe you should have already signed the damn match, given how many damn weeks we've had to build to this thing. You know, I don't know that their pacing between takeovers has always been real shaky.
Mhm.
And this is just an example of that, where they're just cramming a lot in, and we'll see it, you know, on the go home show to some extent as well, where it's a lot just sort of gets thrown out there with just a couple weeks to go, and it's like this could have already been announced, and then you build towards it, right? Like you develop it, as Jenny said. Where are your writers? Rather than just spinning your wheels for weeks on end and then deciding, oh, we have to have a card for takeover.
I feel like this whole thing was just so Becky could say, I did not come here to take part. I came here to take over. So I feel like somebody came up with that phrase, and then they were like, let's build a segment around this phrase.
Right. And my complaint
I do like it. But.
Yeah, I like that too. My complaint is not so much that I mean, obviously, of course, we knew this match was happening. It's just now it's not quote unquote official until they've done this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's stupid with 2 weeks to go.
It's predictable. You know, you knew Sasha was gonna beat her up, and it's like it's what we're in the cycle of just kind of rinsing and repeating a lot of this stuff with different characters. Like everybody gets their turn to play this part.
Yeah, right. That armbar did look sick though.
It did look pretty good.
Yeah, it came very much like bad Raw stuff, but like in a smaller setting, which almost makes it like even less
almost
impactful.
Makes you main roster angry.
Yeah.
Right. All right. A man who is main roster angry is Alex Riley. He takes a shitty video from his apartment.
Oh my god!
I forgot about this.
There's a man on the brink.
The fuck? Who let this man do this? That was supposed to. I almost cried. I felt like absolute shit today, and I watched it. And I'm like, that guy's depressed. Like, fuck.
He took this on the same camera Sami used when he was in Quebec or whatever in his driveway.
Right, the wasteland of Quebec. Yes,
it's like the webcam from American Pie. He says he's been taking risks, but they aren't all worth the reward. It's like, I'll say, buddy, like you've ruined your whole career. He said now he needs a knee operation. So in the manner of like getting his ass beat for these worthless title shots, he's tore his knee. You definitely get the feeling he doesn't have money to pay for this knee operation. It's very costly. Nope. He says NXT just wants Sami, and you won't see him for a while because that's what people want. And like Jenny, I put this pretty depressing shit, and that he sounds like he's returned to NXT with a rifle. That's kind of he came up like a shooter.
It had some incel qualities,
right? Like he's writing his manifesto with his knee laid up.
Yeah,
he looks like a. So he's got. I'm looking at it now. He's got a
terrible
NXT. Well, he's got an NXT poster behind him with himself on it, and it doesn't even look like him. So it just kind of looks like this random guy who's an Alex Riley fan talking about how depressed and worthless his life.
His vlog.
Like, this is my idol, Alex Riley, and this is why my life is in such shambles right now.
God, I need him to come
it's
back
like a
with
very
like a
dark,
beard. And...
it's like a very dark, tough enough audition.
I need him to come back in like 3 months, and he's like completely goth, like
yeah. Oh my god,
like all emo.
He got
fucking yes. Oh yeah.
He
Alex
goes to
with 3 X's.
You know how I feel about emo wrestling.
You do love emo wrestling.
I do love it.
It's like he goes to Regal like, I need a few minutes on NXT. No, fuck you. Go record your sad video back in the closet next to a shitty picture of yourself that looks like you 20 years ago. Go fuck off.
It's like he's in like a university dorm room or something.
It was rough.
I mean, I wasn't feeling great today either, Jenny, and I don't know. This kind of spoke to me.
Yeah,
I was like, at least I'm not Alex.
Yeah,
Alex Riley sad, man.
He's
Could
like,
be worse.
and after all that, now my knee's fucked up. It's like, damn, this dude's really going through it.
Sometimes you follow your dreams. Sometimes your dreams are shit. I mean, he doesn't say it, but he basically says
the way he's like,
like,
she just wants Sami Zayn.
And I heard people say, "Thank you, Kevin Owens. Thank you."
And then there's like, well, on that note, moving on.
And then they just no sell this total whole sad video that goes splash like next little icon thing, like
this cry for help.
Oh my god! Nobody cared. Nobody cared.
And then we go to the opposite with Dana Brooke because she's like very high on herself. She says she's been on a roll since birth. I wish she would have called like just shit on Alex Riley. Like, well, unlike that loser.
Yes.
She starts calling everything whack, which I guess they're trying to get over or something, but that did not land for me. Like everything's whack, including Charlotte, especially when it comes to training, which is odd. And then she ends it with like, "So deal with it." I felt like they were trying to use like 2 or 3 catchphrases in here and try and get it to stick, and it was. Yeah, I don't know. This didn't really work for me. It didn't feel like it felt very unnatural. Like they're just giving her a bunch of stuff, and like I guess her thing is that she's in the training. I don't know. Charlotte's whack, especially when it comes to training. I'm better than her.
Look, it's like I said last time we saw her. She's trying to be the best at exercising. That's her gimmick.
It's odd. I don't know.
And
what are you training for, Dana?
Right. She said Devin's body is whack. Like, what are you talking about?
What's wrong with Devin?
Devin's hot.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to make her like a body shaming heel. I guess
that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems. I feel like it seems like a NXT when we first started the pod character more than where they're at now with the women.
Yes.
So
I guess we'll just have to deal with it.
Well,
deal with it because you're whack. Because you're whack.
We're pretty whack, but let's have to deal with it.
She's like the most great. She's like great, like government cheese, Bianca. Like her whole gimmick.
Ugh. Speaking of government cheese,
we have Tyler Breeze versus Hideo Itami here in our main event. We've had like no matches on this show.
Dude.
Right. This is like our third match.
And then we get this. We've seen this a billion times.
Yeah.
Like, it's boring.
Finn is ringside to scout this out because they're going to have a triple threat at TakeOver. I do love, I've kind of enjoyed Corey. I've said this before, but because he's the only one that seems to like not just speak in stupid announcer platitudes. Because like Rich asked him these dumb questions, like, "So do you think it was wise for Tyler to challenge him?" He just goes, "I don't know. Depends who you ask, Rich." Like it's like not a real question, man. Like you're just saying stuff. Like, I don't know. It depends who you ask. Was it wise? I don't know. How do you know he asked? I don't know. It's just it pops me whenever he just shits on their generic questions, but. We get a low-key start with feeling out. Tyler doing a lot of stalling. Tommy fires up with some, you guessed it, some kicks. Tyler bails again. Tommy mocks the hair flip. So we get a little sassy from Tommy here as he's mocking Tyler multiple times during this match. Tyler comes back with a neck breaker. Methodical offense by Tyler. Chin lock. Pretty boring shit. Itami goes for his finishing sequence here. Tyler avoids the kick in the corner. And of course, just like you've been mailing this whole show, we do. Of course, Finn takes an incidental kick. Tyler ends up missing the beauty shot and gets the running knee, and then that's it. Itami takes it. So, yeah, very boring match. I don't know. Tyler's disappointed me. I don't know if it's just because he's with Itami and Itami's kind of blah. but like they really made him like a chin lock heel in this match. Like he was not doing a whole lot. Itami was just kind of doing Itami stuff. I ended up going 1.5 on Jenny. I thought this kind of sucked.
Dude, I'm so glad that it was not just me just being all in my feels and being off today, because I don't want to see another Itami and Breeze match. I don't care that Finn Balor is ringside. It's all of it's boring. Like, we've seen this match a billion times and between these three people. Okay, is anybody caring about their triple threat match? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I'm trying here. Like, I'm trying, and I like Tyler, but he's in the same rinse repeat cycle that everybody else is in. All these guys are. So it's just hard to get excited about any of it. I did 1 star. Just, I don't know. It was a match that was worked. So that's where I'm at on it.
I think rinse repeat sums it up pretty well. I guess it would be one thing if these three were just not even so much work rate gods, but they just had such amazing chemistry together that it didn't matter how many matches you had. They're all so good that you don't care, right? But no, we don't care because we don't care. Their matches are not so stellar that they have to keep doing them. It's just they're doing them because this is their mid card. They just don't. They haven't even developed any other guys from the undercard or any other breakout talents really, and this is sort of what we're stuck with. And it's been a bad pattern. It's a bad look for them. We expect much better, and I'm not gonna lie, like I was real in and out on this match. I was kind of doing other things and halfway paying attention to it out of the corner of my eye. And I swear to God, every single time I looked up, it was just Tyler Breeze stalling on the outside, looking semi-indignant at Hideo Itami. And I'm like,
or doing a hold, or
and I'm like,
kicking in the corner. Yeah.
I'm like, I know I'm not really paying attention to this match, but is there anything even to pay attention to here? And I guess it sort of picks up at the end where Finn eats that kick, but then they just go right into the finish. So I guess some of the post match is okay, just in the sense that I do like Tyler, and I'm glad he gets his heat back, which I guess we'll get to. But all that said, I guess put me down for a shrug of the shoulders. I don't know.
Yeah.
And not because it's an awful match. It's just a match that we have seen so many times. In a vacuum, I could probably rate it, but just in the context of being part of an episodic show that we're watching week after week, it's just, again, its existence really beggars the question, and I'm like, shrug. So I don't know.
Right. Like and the thing to me too, so the post match, Tyler jumps to Tommy, Finn comes in to save, Tyler comes back in, lays both of them out, so he kind of stands tall, which lets you know he doesn't have a fucking snowball's chance at the in the match.
Really do tell.
And really, I don't think, if anything, this had like the opposite effect, because I feel like these matches have made me think like neither one of these guys has a chance against Finn, because Finn's been positioned as like this stud, and he clearly seems like he's on another level than these two guys.
He feels like he's plumbing it whenever he wrestles one of them.
Right. Yes. And so when you put them in a shitty match together and they come out and like bore you, it's like it makes them seem even less. Like the goal here would be like them to have a banger, and then you're like, hey, maybe they do have a shot. Like they're both good. But instead you're like, God, these two schmucks don't have. And yeah, I don't know what's up with Ty. I don't know if they're just like tell him like, hey, look, go out there and be boring. Like you're a heel. You're supposed to do chin locks and get heat, brother. Right. Like I don't know, but yeah, it was flat. It's like this whole episode. It's just everything. It's like they were just going to like the most. All right, then the third guy's going to come out. He's going to sit on the outside. He eats a kick. We're doing contracts on it. It was like just the most. And the thing about it is like that can work, but you need people who are like super over and can kind of take like, blah standard stuff and elevate it, but
Mhm.
it's like developmental. So these people aren't really at the, they're not at the level yet where they can take basic shit and elevate it. Like they're just not
Mhm.
there yet. So then you just end up with like, yeah, they built stuff for the pay-per-view, but in really kind of like, I don't know, lame ways that weren't interesting at all. And that's pretty much what the whole show was. It was mostly just like segments and interviews and stuff. So, yeah.
Very disappointing episode.
Bad high school drama production.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's like they're I mean, I don't know. I get it. Like you have to do these things so that they learn, right? Because how do you get better at your job unless you're doing that job? But it just seems like there's no growth. Like not no growth, but the growth is uneven, and they're not using, when people do grow, they don't use it. They put them back to like redo it. And like, why? Because they grew. Like, are you letting them try again? Like, is it like, well, you did all right on that pass, let me do another pass on that? I don't know.
Real 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Sometimes 3 steps forward, just 2 steps back, but frustrating all the same.
Yeah, I originally went a 4 out of 10 because I was going to give them some credit for building stuff, but now that we've run back through it, like just everything was built in like really lame ways. So I think I'm gonna bump it down to a 3 out of 10.
I think it might be the worst episode that we've seen. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe not. I did the 3 as well. I don't know that
Worst regular episode, maybe.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
that wasn't Itami's,
Going
Well,
right
yeah.
into the takeover too. Like,
Yeah, that's telling.
Right.
I think y'all probably talked me down to a 3. I was probably gonna be somewhat more generous, but 4 just means like a little bit below average, right? This was, I would say, more significantly below average.
I feel like it's a bad sign when I feel like Alex Riley had some of the most like human emotion that came through in this whole
Yes,
thing.
Right.
It was, like
compelling.
depression
Right.
video, and like that was just thrown in there like for whatever reason.
And that was
Like,
hard to watch, but at least it felt real.
It was, it was compelling.
Yeah, it was like compelling and like a,
do it.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably a bad sign that the Alex Riley depression video was one of the most compelling things on the show. But all right. Well, all right, let's see if we could bounce back as we go to the true go home here on the May 13th, 2015 episode. We get another recap of Sami and Cena facing off. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but apparently this was in Canada because he gets the bread intro.
He's going to bring out Sami Zayn. He's going to challenge in the U.S. title open tournament.
I need Brett saying El Generico. The El Generico.
He used to wrestle all across the world as El Generico.
Cool. And more emphasis on the shoulder problem too. They make sure that it sticks in our head. So Tim, you seem like you remember. So is this like I wasn't sure if they were like playing this off for an angle or if this was legit or what.
Oh yeah, he was legit injured. Yeah, he
okay.
It was really bad too because he did his you know how he does his little dance at the beginning of his entrance where he kind of
his little skanking.
He's doing some skanking in there and he's like waving his arms around, kind of windmilling and whatnot. And apparently that's when he got hurt, is when he like wrenched his shoulder because I don't know, he went for the high sign a little too hard, I guess. Which is I mean, it sounds like you or I getting injured when we sneeze too hard, right? I mean,
right.
like
me taking my jacket off in the car.
Yeah, in a weird way, and you do something to your, like, I don't know if maybe he then aggravated it in the course of the match, like maybe he would have been okay otherwise, but apparently it was like a shoulder separation or rotator cuff issue or something like that. But yeah, it was a legitimate injury. He worked the match, and it's a really good match, actually. if anyone hasn't seen it, they should go out of their way to watch that Cena Sami match from that Raw. I don't know if it was I guess it probably wasn't the first match in that open challenge Cena was doing for the U.S. title, but it was one of the early ones. And yeah, it's when Cena is like trying to establish his bona fides as a guy who can hang with these, indie darlings, basically, which he did. But Sami gets hurt in the course of it, and that sort of comes out after the match. And this is really a week before TakeOver, so it's casting a lot of doubt on whether or not that TakeOver main event is even going to happen now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know the extent of the injury. Maybe they do it, but it's not a real match, Jake. We just don't know. And we thought maybe we would get some answers on this go home this go home NXT, and they really don't emphasize it too much. I mean, I think they acknowledge it, but it's sort of just in passing, right? They don't make a big deal out of it, so you're thinking, all right, well, I guess the match is still on, but what's that going to look like? So yeah, it kind of was like a dark cloud heading into that takeover, because you knew, whatever the case, like the match was not going to be all that it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Sami is not he's not regaining the title. I mean, not that we probably thought that in the first place, but it's certainly is a dead giveaway that KO is going to retain here in probably very dominant fashion.
Well, it sucks, but
Yep.
All right, well, I guess we can. This will pick our spirits up because we have a Baron Corbin versus Solomon Crow match to talk about.
Sir.
Solomon Crow, his push seems to have quickly. He's come back down to earth. This is longer than just like Rhino. This is longer than your typical Baron Corbin match. Crow tries to be aggressive to really no avail. Corbin takes his head off with a clothesline, stands over and postures. Crow gets a side kick on the apron, but after that he gets the end of days. And similar to the Rhino match, it almost had a chance of being the realest Baron Corbin match we see on these, but ended up being not quite real. But Solomon Crow quickly reduced to jobber fodder here, or hacker man.
What was your rating on this? 0?
Yeah. Real. 0.
Yeah, not
real. I gave it a half a star, and you want to know why?
Why?
Did you not take note of the crowd here? They were alternating chanting boring for one thing, and at one point broke into a Baron's gonna bore you.
I thought, that's what I thought. I was like, I thought it was like, okay, am I just mishearing this because I'm trying to hate on Baron Corbin? But okay,
and you know what it was? I think it's because it is very like out of nowhere, right? Or seems that way. I think this is around the time when Baron Corbin like went on his
like Twitter,
his anti-indie wrestling tirade on Twitter or whatever.
Oh,
and, like all the fucking marks like ate it up and thought he was this piece of shit. He just didn't pay his dues, just a WWF produced guy, which I mean he is, but he's also completely trolling you, right? So they all took the bait, and everybody like instantly, I mean overnight, turned on this dude. Because it was, I mean, Melter's picking it up, like all the, the usual outlets are running with this stupid non-story. And so, yeah, I think that had worked its way into the NXT universe proper here, who, it's kind of that, I don't know. I hate to be so condescending, Jenny, but
not you, Tim.
No. But sometimes these wrestling crowds can just seem like trained seals. And I think
so you did or did not like the chant?
I liked it, but I also thought I liked it. I thought it added to the match. I'll put it that way. But I also thought it was such an example of, 2015 wrestling, man. This is
Mhm.
It's so. That's what it
Why?
was like.
Why
Tim
do all
thinks
this?
Baron Corbin sucks, and the crowd's a bunch of marks.
Well,
Pretty much.
that does sum up NXT sometimes.
Sometimes. And ourselves. I mean.
But why would they do all this stuff with Solomon Crow? Yeah, they put him in the little video. They did the little. They would interrupt other matches and pretend like I thought I was stroking out one time because I saw a
Right?
Solomon Crow
Mhm.
thing happening, and
Yeah.
then that went on for like weeks, and then okay, he's just gonna eat the end of days. Like
Yeah,
like
cooked.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
want
don't
Guess
to
know.
they
get it.
decided to give up on him.
Yeah,
He's not that bad. I mean, you know,
They just do, they just do this sometimes, right? Where they heat a guy up big time, and then all of a sudden, you don't even know what it is. Like it may not have even been something in ring. Maybe he sneezed in front of somebody he wasn't supposed to,
Right.
or he didn't shake someone's hand the right way, and then they just bury him, right? They just all of a sudden, sometimes they just do it to humble these guys. I think where it's like, oh, we're so high on you, and then the next day it's like it's just a little mind fuck where they act like you shouldn't even breathe the same air just to see how you handle it, right? Just to see if you're made of sterner stuff and aren't gonna get a big inflated head and then be a big crybaby when things aren't going your way for no reason.
I mean, okay.
I really
I
think
will
it's one of
accept
those.
that as an answer.
Yeah.
Solomon Crow's getting a big head.
Yeah, he
Well,
got
yeah, look at the
cocky,
big push.
obviously.
He got too cocky. You gotta send this guy back down to earth, man.
Feed him to Corbin.
So I think it's just like wrestling gaslighting stuff.
Shh.
I have no
That's the name
basis
of my
for
new
this. I
podcast.
don't remember reading anything about them being down on him or anything at the time. It's pure speculation on my part, but it's not like it isn't without precedent, right?
Or is it like you had a chance to get over and you didn't? Like
And you
because
didn't, so
but he didn't have a
but he
chance.
didn't exactly.
It's like he got a couple of promos and then he gets his ass kicked. So
Right. It's like Tim said. There's some people they'll give him like a million chances to try and get over, and then some people just he went out there and did that thing one time, and I mean, it wasn't good, but we've seen plenty of people do stuff that's not good and then recover. So like Baron Corbin sucks. He's getting. I mean,
like I'm
years.
Interested in Solomon Crow. Like he's got a good body. He's a little short, but it looked like he could go and had some quickness. I don't know.
Well, and he has a very unusual look. I mean, even for a wrestler, he's certainly unique. You can't. I'll give him that much. But
then I don't know. Then Rhino wants to come out and talk shit and get his ass beat. So.
Yeah, he's very obsessed with this unstoppable force thing. He comes back to that. I was surprised that they actually throw hands with each other. I thought they would just kind of do a stare down. They have to be separated. The crowd, though, maybe stemming from what Tim was talking about, thinking Baron Corbin is boring. They do not react like they're seeing two behemoths going at each other because they just very mild reaction from the crowd. And then we got Rhino Gore in the security, probably the highlight of this whole thing.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see them gore dudes left and right.
Right, but very muted crowd reaction for this. What's being billed is just like the unstoppable forces meeting.
Which again, where this is the go home show, why have we not been doing more with these two like for weeks on end?
Well, they've been doing the same shit just separately. And
just separately.
Just like we did with Bull Dempsey and fucking Mojo and everybody else.
And Mojo. Yep. At some point, you could have converged these two paths a lot sooner, but we didn't because we don't know how to book a show.
Have not thought about Mojo.
And the show has no writers, as we've established.
Look, I think about Mojo at least once a day. You like doing his whole thing and then eating shit when he gets
destroyed.
True.
That was amazing.
rent free.
He runs full speed into the ring, gets kicked in the face.
It was awesome.
That's
and
America.
then made to submit.
All right, we go to Finn Balor. He's in a suit. He's speaking with Byron. He says he's going to win, etc., etc. And then the demon will be after the. Then the demon will be after the champion. You know, pretty. By this one, I was like, we need better face promos because these are all they're real generic.
Need writers,
right? These are like I did not get much of Finn's personality or anything from this. It was just kind of like, I'm gonna win, and then the demon, and then that's it. I don't know. Not very interesting.
I think you should have said exactly that. I'm gonna win, and then the demon. All right, thanks very much, Finn.
Yeah, I'm gonna win, etc. And then the demon's gonna win the championship. I'm way too excited. He was not this excited when he was speaking. He was not that fired up. All right, and then we continue on. Byron also speaks with Tyler Breeze, and he says that he's already proven he's better than these flavors of the month, and then he's going to face whoever and get the title.
Whoever,
and then I'm going to get the title. So, similar promo, just the heel version of what Finn said, that he's going to show he's better. I did like the flavor of the month line. That was very Tylerish, and then the whoever was pretty good. So, at least a little more personality in Tyler's.
I think I could have used a little bit more, just a little bit more of that Tyler shittiness where he's like, and the flavor of the month sucks when it's a day of a time, you know, something just
ugly fucker,
something real mean, just real unnecessarily mean, just because he's usually good at that.
Right.
Didn't give it to me here.
Right. Anything on these, Jenny? Or they're just kind of
nah, I mean
not the most interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. All right, we now go to Sasha versus, I hope I'm getting the right iconic here. Was this is Peyton Form, who will later be Peyton Royce, right?
I can't help you.
I think. Okay.
Was it?
Anyway,
really?
I think it was one of them. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I think it was. And I feel like
here she's black shorts. So
right. Okay. Sasha versus black shorts. Possible one of the iconics. But Sasha grabs the mic before and says Becky is not better than her. She's caught off guard though in the early going, has to bail out. She recovers and starts toying with her opponent, hits the double knee in the corner. I don't think he was this stupid, but Byron on commentary, like she starts mocking Becky, and at that exact moment, he goes, a lot of similarities between Becky and Sasha, which, first of all, I don't know what he's saying. Like, it made it seem as if she started doing the mannerisms of Becky, and he was like, oh, look, she's just like Becky. But even if you think past that, it still doesn't make sense. It's just, again, Corey is like the only one who doesn't speak in like video game announcer sound bites. But anyway, Sasha gets the bank statement, pretty much a squash. Good heel stuff from Sasha here, but not a whole lot. Just a little enhancement. Half a star, not real, 1 star, whatever you want to call it. Right, Jenny?
Yeah, I completely missed this match somehow.
Wow.
Because I was like, what is he talking about? I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't know. I was in a
You went to a fugue state.
Yeah, it's possible.
I feel like I know what happened during this match. I mean, I feel like it was, like you said, not quite a match. So I don't think I missed much.
After those promos, Jenny's brain went to like the monkey hitting the cymbals for like 3 minutes because these episodes put her into like
I'm actually very concerned about my mental health because I'm like, what was I doing?
But it shows we're all the same though, because now you're saying, I'm like, wait, did I watch this? Like, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, did I just make this up? So
yeah, no, I mean, there was stuff on that first show. I was like, I kind of napped through that. I'm not gonna lie. This I do. Again, I found more memorable thanks to the crowd. This crowd is on fucking meth. because they were doing the dueling chants, let's go this person, let's go that person, but they were doing it at like 75 trillion miles per hour. So you're hearing, and the crowd are the ones who christened this person Black Shorts, because they're going, let's go Sasha, let's go Black Shorts, let's go Sasha, let's go Black Shorts, let's go Sasha. It was just nonstop, and I was like, what is going on? It sounded like just the same people. Like, you're supposed to go back and forth, right? It just sounded like the same people chanting what's supposed to be a dueling like crowd chant thing, and it was just making my head explode. And I was like, is this crowd, like, I know sometimes they sweeten these crowds, right? And they'll pipe in some extra crowd noise if it's, they don't do that for these NXTs, but like, did they speed them up or something? Because it sure sounds like these people are on speed. So again, by virtue of that, I found it slightly. I'm trying to find.
They were just horny, probably.
Maybe. But they. I'm looking for any little thing to try to enhance these enhancement matches, non-competitive enhancement matches, which this was. It was the sort of extended squash showcase for Sasha, which I guess it got the job done. I'll give it a star very generously. Very generously.
I think we just brain like computing.
Which is probably going to be my highest. I mean, at this point, it might be my highest match grade, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Right. I confirmed. I looked it up. It is, in fact, the future Peyton Royce.
It is. It definitely is her.
Who are the other members of this stable?
Billy Kay.
Okay, I knew it wasn't her.
Right.
Although she does start in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised to see Peyton this early on here.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, tag team, not stable. Whatever. I know modern wrestling.
Right.
Whatever.
All right, we get the announcement that I mentioned earlier that Bailey and Charlotte are going to face Dana and Emma at TakeOver. So this is kind of low in the car for Charlotte. I feel like there's a little bit of a down spot for her. She's used to better than this.
Well, I don't mind like her doing like a tag team thing. Because like maybe she'll turn.
Maybe just fuck everybody up.
That's where I'm at on that.
The Dana Emma team is worrisome.
Oh yeah. Well, it's that question, right? Is this does Charlotte's presence elevate this mid-card tag team match, or does it feel like a demotion for Charlotte?
Yeah.
And I don't know, I kind of lean more the latter. Like, Charlotte's been such a part of the championship scene for the women here that, I mean, okay, Bailey's fine, but Dana Brooke and Emma, really? Like,
no. Right.
Boy, this takeover is going to be rough.
Well, we have Apollo Crews in his Ultima again.
Oh my God!
Who? True. Unknown man in his Ultima.
I can't make out the name on the contract. I told you to print legibly.
The Ultima Warrior.
You have to do it again.
He studied the history, and now he's going to make his own. I like that he's backstage. He has this like friendly interaction with Solomon Crow.
Yeah.
And Solomon Crow backstage is like a normal dude,
because he said hi to this. He said hi to this new guy who doesn't have a name yet. But, you can't be associating with just anybody. Like, we're gonna have to humble you now.
Oh, that was so awkward and great.
I know, I like that he's like this Mr. Robot like hacker guy. He's like in the gym, like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
What's up, man?
This is so funny. But
he released any good documents?
He didn't know his name either. So,
what's up, buddy?
What's up, my guy?
Great to see you.
You?
All right. We will now go to Carmella versus Alexa Bliss. Alexa's like weird 70s funk music is something like it kind of sounds like a network dub, but I don't think it is.
No,
But
that was an original. Yep.
I continue to be impressed by Mella in the brief time they give her in the ring, though. She has like a nice like scissors here, but quickly Wes and Bud come out and start derailing this. Bliss comes back with some axe handles. Alexa trying to do some Lucia flips, but it's not too smooth. Doesn't quite have that down enough to pull it off in a match. She's just kind of a step off in most of this stuff. Those are just kind of a step off in the whole match. But then Wes and Bud, they kind of distract Carmella, and then it gives her a win off of the Sparkle Splash. I did give this a 1 star. It wasn't quite an enhancement match. And I enjoyed Carmella, but I think Alexa still kind of rough. I think she's trying to do things that are a little, and again, you got to go out there and try it. I get it. But I think her flips are not quite, she's no Kalisto yet. I'll say that.
I actually like this one pretty well. I did 1 3/4 stars. I like Carmella. She has so much attitude. A lot of hair thrashing and tossing in this match. Both of them have a lot of hair, so and they exaggerate that with their motions, to fling their hair everywhere. So that part was distracting, but the actual moves with a Z looked pretty good, except for that Sparkle Splash. I don't like that shit. Not a fan of that move.
I don't like that shit.
No, I really don't. Alexa is messy, but she takes advantage of the distraction from Wes and Bud, so that's good on her. So I thought this was a pretty decent little match, Tim.
I wasn't feeling it. I like Carmella. I pretty much like everything Carmella does here. She dances up a storm at the beginning.
Yes, she does.
So that was kind of fun. And I like how she was just about to lock in her submission before the champions distracted her. Although part of me kind of hates that finish because I'm like, just do your move and win, right? Like just get the damn win. So that sort of annoyed me. And Alexa just did not look good here. And I like Alexa, and I think she's been in better matches. She's been presented better, what we have seen of her so far in NXT. So it was unfortunate to see that this was a bit of a step down from her. I think she's maybe coming off an injury and is maybe still trying to get her groove back. I don't know. But this didn't really work for me. 3/4 of a star.
Mella's music is a jam too. I like that.
It is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I like
that. Yeah. But so post match, they've really amped up. I think they came these set episodes like we really got to get Wes and Bud over his heels because now they like advance on Mella, and so to Tim's point about this insane crowd, they started doing a no means no chant, which. And they tell her that if you hang out with trash, you smell like garbage. And Mella fires back and says, "Mark my words, you're gonna be a takeover. They're gonna walk out champs." And the crowd woke up for that. They were
they did.
And then she calls him soft and does the whole spells it out for him. So very good by Mella. Good five. Mark my words. I enjoyed that.
I really like her standing up for her boys.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good, even though they got their ass beat earlier.
I sure did.
Mella's been like, I gotta say, one of my pleasant surprises doing this
Same.
podcast. Like, she's been good since she debuted. Like, she's
I've enjoyed her a lot.
Yeah, her character's good.
I feel like we say it every time we see her, and it's only because I think the narrative has been, oh, she sucked and she's always sucked, and if she's any good now, it's just by surprise, and I'm like, no, she's always been pretty decent and has improved ever since. So I've never had an issue with her.
She was one of my favorites. Like when I first started watching wrestling, the Mella's money shit was
I
probably
remember,
it was like her biggest time. I think was right around then. So yeah, I kind of miss her. And I know she's expecting, so probably going to be out for a bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I kind of like them not being on these last two either, and kind of using Mella to like sort of build it, because they're going to get a huge pop when they come and do their whole spiel.
Right.
Take
Right.
kind of hold back because we haven't seen it in a minute, and like now we're pissed because we like Mella and they've been fucking with her, and then the boys are going to show up and
they're going to win the tag titles, right?
They're going to walk out champs.
Something like that.
Take over.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
All right. Itami gives a quick promo, and he says that I want to fight KO because he is a bad person with no respect.
That was so funny.
I just advanced through this one, so I didn't see it.
Yeah,
I was curious who Itami would pick, and I was like, he ain't gonna pick nobody. Like, no, he's like, I want to fight KO because he's a bad person. He doesn't have respect for anybody, and he can go to hell.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I was short on time, so I waved it off.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We forgot to mention that triple threat is the #1 contenders match. Apparently. So
yeah, I mean
that's a thing.
I'm not sure we knew, did we? Until this.
That's a good point.
I mean, I figured
show or these past two shows.
Nobody else is in contention. There is no other mid card.
I mean, they don't do a very good job of emphasizing, hey, here's what the next takeover looks like so far. Like they usually you'll at least get a and by the way, don't forget, here's our next takeover and here are some of the matches. Like even if they don't have the whole card in front of you, they normally you kind of hammer that point home. I realize it's not a actual pay-per-view that people are ordering, but we could at least pretend it is for the sake of
I feel like this is the
encouraging people to watch it.
Yeah.
It's been the most kind of thrown together, I feel, of the ones we've seen.
Oh, yes.
All right. Dana says she's doing Charlotte a favor by letting her know she's being passed over. So, not a whole lot.
That was lame.
Right. And then we go to, hey, look, it's going to be Tyler and Itami in some form or fashion. And they drag Adam Rose out here.
What?
Poor Adam Rose. Adam Rose and Tyler versus Itami and Finn. Poor Adam Rose doesn't have his rosebuds anymore. To tell you where he's been. He went to the main roster and crashed and burned. Now he's here to take a pin. So Finn looks good early, pushing Rose's shit in. Rough spot as Adam Rose sells a kick that lands nowhere near his face. So that was kind of a janky spot. The heels take over, slowly work over Finn. Of course, we get another chin lock by Breeze. Somebody, again, one of his coaches back there, like fucking Bill DeMott or somebody must have told him to do chin locks. But Finn tries to fight out, but Rose hits a nice spine buster into a Boston Crab. So nice little spot for Adam Rose. Finn gets the ropes. Another chin lock. Kind of tepid hot tag to Finn as he just kind of crawls slowly to the corner. Itami comes in, does his Itami moves. Finn comes in to clean up after that, but Itami wants to win. So they're selling like these two friends are now kind of becoming frenemies. They can't get along. They want the glory. So Tyler takes advantage and steals the roll up due to the dissension, and then stands tall after this. So just like we thought in the last episode, there was no way in fuck that Tyler's winning this match after standing tall at the end of both of these things. And then he even, probably my favorite part of this whole match is when he super kicked, he give the supermodel kick to Adam Rose just to be an asshole.
Yeah,
that's great. But a few good spots in here, but a pretty blah match, very formulaic. It was what you thought it was going to be. They just kind of put it together, this match, to show, like, I guess that Itami and Finn are like, I don't know, not getting, like, have a conflict or something. But I thought Breeze and Rose, that team was pretty boring. I ended up going 2 on it. But yeah, no great shakes, Tim.
I gave it a no one cares. No one cares.
Yep.
It's the main event for our effectively, right? For our.
Yeah. They don't even make the main event.
This
show.
It's just, man.
Yep.
This is not go home. this is not go home week material. I'm sorry, it's just not. And get it away from me. And that's all.
I don't know why I hate the term "go home." I don't know why. It's just I don't know. For whatever reason, and that descriptor just throws me off. I'd never have. I mean, I get it, but anyway, that's just a nitpick. But I thought Adam Rose was kind of funny in his because surely he's going to be the one to get pinned in this. Nope. Nope.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't even get pinned, so it's baffling.
Yeah, it's baffling. I did like, Tyler when he laid everybody out with the beauty shots at the end and then takes his camera and they're all like laid out all over the ring. That was a cool visual, but that was about the height of my enjoyment of this match is when it ended. So I gave it a go fuck yourself.
You gave it a go home.
Yeah.
Go home.
Go home and fuck yourself. Yes.
Yeah. Fuck yourself. And never come back.
Yeah, it's three guys that are like, I mean, even Itami, like we don't like him, but he's obviously talented. Like he's not a complete scrub, like, well, I mean, like, and then Tyler we've liked, but this whole thing, the whole bill has been lame.
Shit. It's been shit.
All right, we go to Sami. So, Tim, you kind of mentioned this earlier. He talks about how he tweaked his arm during his entrance and it got worse in the match. He's not sure if it popped out. So, just a little bit more on his on this injury that is hanging over our main event. And then we go to our main event interview segment thing. It's going to be a Sami KO face to face. Will KO say why he did it? Why, Kev? Why? So Sami asks again, like I just said, why, Kevin? Why? Is it jealousy? No response from KO. Is it about your son? Because he'd rather wear a Sami Zayn shirt. KO's still stoic. He walks out, sulks up the ramp, finally says everything Sami said is irrelevant, and he had that he had to take off time because he was hurt, and he knows the injury, and at TakeOver he's going to hurt him again, and he won't come back. And we end on that. So we still have no further information on why Kevin Owens is doing that. We never will. Yeah, I said earlier, it's the same thing. It's kind of like they just took the stuff from the interview and put them in the ring and did it, but we really didn't really build any further tension or anything. Really, the main source of tension now is the injury. I mean, that's they're not really building.
Which they're downplaying, if anything.
Right. So I don't know. Again, I think, and I'm not saying it's his fault because I just feel like if KO is just never going to give you anything on this, you need a little bit more from Sami besides him just questioning KO, because eventually it just kind of sounds like an idiot to just keep on. Just tell me, is it your son? It's like
plus, I mean, am I crazy? Talk about being gaslit. I mean, am I crazy, or has this question not been answered like 1,000 times? Like he did it because he said, "I'm a prize fighter. I don't wait in line for title shots. I cut the line, and I do that because I need to make more money for my family." Whether he's, whether we take him seriously on that point, whether he's being sincere or not, like that's been his line from the beginning, right? I'm all about the money and the glory and the title. And
he says that, but I don't feel like we believe it.
I mean, right? That's the whole thing. They're making it seem like. Yeah, like Sammy's like, well, I don't believe
but
that's
it's true though. Like if you do have the title, you do have the glory and all the money, right? So, I mean, why wouldn't he be about that life?
Right. I think at some point Sammy's got to get to the point where he's like, you know what, you're not going to tell me I don't care. I'm going to beat your ass and take the title back, because obviously you're not talking, so I don't even care what you think. Right. But they just they're trying to build like some intrigue about why he did it, and like it's just we're past the point of it mattering.
I mean, if anything, I read his very trollish, dismissive character as more of a put on. Like, no, it is very important to him that he holds the title. Like, that is a big deal to him. But the fact that everybody asks these asinine questions constantly, he's not going to play by their. He's not going to play these games. Like, he's not going to play by their rules. So he's going to give these very snide answers and be this trollish douchebag. But I mean, the reality is, yes, he does care about the title. Otherwise, I mean, he wouldn't even be out here, right? Like, he wouldn't have done everything that he's done so far.
So then drop the stupid troll act in and
Yeah,
just be
well,
that guy that cares. That's all. But
I don't think he
Sami
wants
is
to give
already
people
that
the satisfaction of believing that he cares, right?
Yeah.
He wants to. It's like it's just a mind game for him.
Yeah.
And
it's lame. I did appreciate Sami trying to bring some other aspects in. It's like, is it about your son? And I was like, okay, maybe that could be something. And then KO's response, no. I like, that was a perfect opportunity to go like, you know what? Okay, fine. But no, he wasn't going to do that either. So, okay.
I just think this whole thing is dumb because they've reheated this this storyline like there's some central mystery at the heart of it that there really isn't. Like, I mean, yeah, there kind of was at first. Why did these friends suddenly come to blows? Like, Kevin Owens' first appearance in NXT, he's fucking killing his best friend practically, and we answered that question.
And there's so much stuff they could mine
for some reason. Yeah,
like there's so much they could mine, and instead
there's
so much.
Yes.
And instead they just want to go like, the why, Kevin? Why did you do it?
That's what I'm getting frustrated with.
Yeah, it's not interesting.
Where's Sami going? Here's the real Kevin Owens, and talking about like what a dork he used to be, and how he was like, if anything, maybe riding Sami's coattails, and how just getting more intimate, right? With
like
this.
make it an actual personal feud, not just like a generic like, why'd you hurt me, man? We were friends.
Yeah,
like that's the seed, but you got to go further. Yeah,
get into the specifics. So
yeah.
Anyway,
it's a bummer because they're both capable of it too. Like if they gave them that to work with, but yeah, that's how we end it, and that's our final little thing before Takeover. But yeah, this one, like the first one, and it honestly was a very similar. I felt like they hit kind of all the same shit, like right down to, I mean. So just like the first one, it sucked. So I'm going to go 3 out of 10 on this one too.
It's hard. It's hard to go up anymore. I mean, I liked Carmella in this. I somehow missed watching a whole ass match though. So, I got to do the 3. Sadly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like no better and no worse at the same time. I sort of want to penalize it. I want to be even harsher on it because it should have to do more heavy lifting going into that takeover. But I'm just like, you know what? 3 is bad enough. So we'll park it right there.
Right. More like takeover stoppable.
Yeah, like make it stop.
More like takeover stopping us in our tracks.
All right, so the awards, best match. So I'm gonna go Emma and Charlotte, which I give a whole 2.25 stars.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Based on my ratings, that's the best I got.
I think that 2 was the highest I did as well.
Right.
Oh my God, the 2 was the highest I did.
Rough.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What did I give Emma Charlotte to? Yeah. Emma Charlotte is, I guess.
Go back through. You're gonna be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that was rough.
We started. We didn't go anywhere but down.
No, we did not.
Worst match. I mean, obviously we have the the non-real matches, but I'm gonna go with the Itami Tyler match from the first one because that was like a real match with time.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that match.
Yeah, fuck it all.
Yep. Oh, Rising. I'm gonna go Rising Carmella.
Yes.
For sure.
Excuse me.
I guess
Black shorts got over with the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bailey showed some aggression. Maybe that's some
Okay.
character development.
Okay. Regal. Regal is great.
Making them sign that contract.
Yeah.
The unknown man in the Ultima.
Unknown Ultima driver. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have to force anything here.
Yeah, let's not.
Alex Riley's not rising.
Alex, in some sense,
he's certainly falling.
He's both rising and falling.
He was the most real thing that we saw, which was terrible.
I mean, yeah, wait till we get to highlights, right?
Falling. Oh, a
Jesus
lot of people.
Christ. It's everyone.
Poor Solomon Crow's falling.
Adam Rose.
The morale of this
But he won that match, so.
Right. Tyler for me is a big one.
Tyler, big time.
Yeah.
Charlotte feels, unfortunately, like Dawson and Wilder didn't even get their damn match, and Enzo and Cass got their ass beat.
Yeah.
Becky, where are we at on Becky?
I'd say more like just she kind of stayed.
Same.
But yeah, no falling, no rising. Just a lot of people I feel didn't really fall necessarily. They just kind of like they didn't really do a whole lot to. They didn't show out. Fuck MVP.
Us for finishing this.
MVP. Not a real match. MVP, whatever.
Michael Cole. No.
I would give it to Sami, I guess.
Right, I think so. Yeah.
I guess.
Well.
Yeah. I could maybe see. We didn't really see enough of Becky, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's whack.
Yeah.
That's whack.
Oh.
This show was whack.
Oh, she's falling. Oh,
yeah.
For it to say.
Yeah.
LVP. I would have given like a tie of Tommy and Tyler. For people who are positioned like that and given that much time, they did fuck all. So I'm giving it to both of them.
I would agree. And I would put Fan in there as well.
Oof. I do think it's worth acknowledging it's not entirely their fault, right? They could probably do more to mix it up match-wise, so it doesn't feel like they're having just the same goddamn match we've seen over and over, but they're also probably being told you can only work a certain way, you know? And if you step outside of that, you're going to get a talking to, right? So it's sort of like, it's not so much them as it is this show's lack of writers. Who are
exactly.
least
There's no direction.
Least valuable part of a thing that doesn't exist, basically.
NXT is the LVP in this case.
Well, this is, I mean, kind of revealing to me, right? Like, this is, I remember at the time, people being like, oh, yeah, you know, that third brand, NXT, kind of cooking these takeovers pretty good. And we're sitting here suffering through these shows.
We are.
At a time when people were going, hey, you ought to check out NXT. Like, I guess there's a reason why I wasn't watching these every single week, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think it really lends itself to that kind of viewing experience. This is more of a check in as you go sort of thing and maybe get caught up before a takeover.
It feels like a dip, though. I feel like we were on a pretty positive trajectory since we started the pod, and then in these past couple months, it's just like between these last two has just been, I feel like, a valley that we haven't. Like I felt like we had some stinky episodes, but like they didn't. Not like this has been like 4 out of 6 suck.
Think of what an indictment that is, though, because we've got better talent now than we did. during that, stretch of better shows. So this shouldn't be rocket science, like even without writers, it should work a little bit better, and it's just not.
Do we have a best moment? It might be Carmella saying
Alex Riley.
Alex Riley was the best moment and the worst moment.
Yeah.
Very fitting. Alex Riley is us. We're Alex Riley.
Yeah. I just think our entire attitude talking about this just kind of says how we're feeling. Because usually we're really good at finding the good parts and having fun with it, but the slog has been real. And if it's just us three and we can't find nothing fun about it, that's not fun. I'm just saying, because we make things fun and we cannot even get it up for this shit.
And it was bland, right?
Yes.
Like that was the thing about it. A lot of this felt like very run of the mill, like contracts. Like that was the biggest issue. You'd rather it just be like goofy and bad.
Yeah.
Than boring. And it was more boring than.
It's always worse when it's boring. Yeah.
Right. All right.
Always
through. We'll cover the takeover. We'll see. Maybe there's a chance they'll surprise us, but we're definitely not super hopeful. We'll see how it plays out. Jenny, what do you have going on podcast wise?
All right. So on the North South Connection, you can find my shows on Wednesdays. They will either be Talking Docs, a new one about reviewing documentaries with Cowboy Roger and Logan Crosland. We got a new Talking Pop coming up with me and Tim. We interviewed our friend Rocco Martone. So that is coming up very soon. And also, you heard about Pluto can be found on Wednesdays. And you can find me on Twitter at Jenny Position.
Perfect. Tim.
Well, in addition to the shows that Jenny mentioned, we do another wrestling podcast on Place B Nation Wrestling. It's called Talking WCW. That's with me and Jenny and Greg Phillips. Had our most recent episode on Roddy Piper come out not too terribly long ago. So check that out in the archives. Pretty good one. I also have on our sister network, Place B Nation Pop, a comics-centered podcast. It's called Traders of the Lost Arcs, where we talk about old comic books. That's me, Sean Kidd, Andy Atherton, and Scott Shiflett. And lastly, I do a podcast that is called 9021 No So, and it's on its own dedicated feed. Just search 9021 No So, NOSO. That's me and JT Rosero, and a guest for each episode. Jenny, you've been on it. Jake, we want to get your takes on a show that is probably very meaningless to you, but we're going to force you to watch anyway. So yeah, if you're a fan of the original Beverly Hills 90210, just going episode by episode. We're about halfway through the second season, rocking and rolling. We're in a really good stretch on that series, unlike what we are seeing on this stretch of NXT, sadly. You can find me on Twitter. I am at Syke68, CYKE68.
All right. As for me, I have the Ruthlessly Aggressive podcast on the No So feed. I'm in the strange world of 2003 WWE. Bill Goldberg has debuted, so seeing how they kind of semi-botched that. Got YouTube Roulette, where we watch random matches on YouTube and talk over them, mostly about other stuff. And Highway to the Impact Zone, where we're going through TNA all the way in 2006 at this point, which is this is an interesting journey as well. So check that all out. And as for us, we are unstoppable with this podcast, and we'll be back in about a month to cover TakeOver Unstoppable and see if it can somehow surprise us despite the kind of doo-doo bill that's had. So we'll do it, guys. Only for the hypothetical listeners we'll put ourselves through this. But thanks for listening. to all you hypothetical, and we've had a few real listeners reach out to us, which is always nice.
Yes,
so
thank you for those.
thanks y'all
guys.
too. We don't want to just think the hypothetical ones. Real ones are cool too. But we'll see you then.
I mean, the
for
hypothetical
Takeover
ones are
Episode
more
1.
important, but
Right.
But of course,
we will acknowledge that we have some actual listeners as well.
right, because it could be
I
whatever.
don't know why,
we want it to be,
but-
so.
Yeah.
So anyway, you're second, but we still love you. All right, we'll see you for Takeover Unstoppable.
PTB NXT has left the building.
Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 valid answers. The world I love, the tears I've tried to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you? The world I love, the trains I hop to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Come and tell me when it's time to. Sweetheart is bleeding in the snow cone. So smart, she's leading me to ozone. Music, the great communicator. Used two sticks to make it in the nature. I'll get you into penetration. The gender of a generation. The birth of every other nation. Look your way to go to meditation. This chapter's gonna be a close one. Smoke rings, I know you're gonna blow one. All on a spaceship persevering. Use my hands for everything but steering. Can't stop the spirits when they need you. Mob tops are happy when they feed you. J butterflies in the treetop. Birds that blow the meaning in the leaf. The world I love, the tears I've tried to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Ever wonder if it's all for you? The world I love, the trains I hop to be part of the wave. Can't stop. Come and tell me when it's time to. Wait a minute, I'm passing out, win or lose, just like you. Far more shocking than anything I ever knew. How about you? 10 more reasons why I need somebody new, just like you. Far more shocking than anything I ever knew. Right on cue. Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chopped up, he says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant us into the reservation. Default the pistol that you pay for. Just pump the feeling that you stay for. In time I want to be your best friend. Eastside love is living on the west end. Knocked out before you better come to. Don't die, you know the truth is some do. Go write your message on the pavement. Burn so bright, I wonder what the wave meant. Kickstart the golden generate hub. Sweet talk but don't intimidate hub. Can't stop the gods from engineering. Feel no need for any interfering. Your image in the dictionary. This life is more than ordinary. Can I get you maybe even 3 of these? Coming from a space to teach you of the Pleiades. Can't stop the spirits when they need you. This life is more than just a read through.